Well, thank you all so much for gathering with us here today at the East 38th Street Library. We are so honored to host this opportunity this morning. My name's Jackie Needus, and I'm the CEO for your public library here in Indianapolis. And on behalf of the Indianapolis Public Library, and on behalf of Kim Harden, who is the manager of this branch over there, Kim, we would like to welcome the volunteers, especially all the community partners and Indianapolis residents in attendance today for the kickoff of the 2020 Indy Free Tax Prep Program. This is a program some of us have known about for years, and we are so thrilled to have it back. The East 38th Street Library is one of several locations that are really proud to be intake sites where the Indy Free Tax Prep Program will prepare taxes from now through the magic day of April 15th. We would like to thank you all for being with us today as we kick off this tax season and spread the word about this valuable program. To find an Indy Free Tax Prep program near you, we encourage you to visit their website. It's indyfreetaxprep.com. You can also check with the staff here at this library because I'm sure they're going to have information on all of the other locations. At this point, I am very honored to introduce a very important program in making, very important person in making this program happen, and that is Ann Mertlow, the CEO of United Way. Ann and I had the opportunity to do a press conference together a couple of years ago when we were both fairly new in our roles. At that one, we sat on the floor at Day Nursery and read stories to preschoolers. I'm very happy today that we're able to be involved in a program that's going to provide so much service for adults and their families, including those preschoolers. So Ann, would you join us, please?
Sure. Thank you, Jackie. And several years later, I'm happy to be standing because it's just a little bit harder to get up off the floor. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jackie, and thank you for the library's partnership and for hosting us here in this beautiful library today. First, I'd like to have you join me in welcoming and acknowledging Mayor Joe Hogsett for being here. And for all of our partners that are here today, and for the launch of the Indy Free Tax Prep Program. United Way of Central Indiana has proudly administered the Indy Free Tax Prep Program for our Central Indiana community since 2015, alongside our partners at the Internal Revenue Service, the dozens of community-based organizations in our 6-county region who serve as tax prep sites, our corporate partners, and the Army of expert volunteers who help individuals and families with tax preparation. So you may not know that since 2015, Indy Free Tax Prep volunteers have prepared more than 26,000 tax returns, which has resulted in close to $30 million in tax refunds to families and individuals in our community. So I think we can all agree that unless you are a CPA, tax preparation can be stressful, it can be intimidating, and it can be very worrisome. And I think that for individuals and families who are trying to stabilize their lives, tax season can feel even more, well, taxing. Okay, yeah, exactly. All right, so my next career is not going to be in stand-up comedy. But not with Indy Free Tax Prep. The value of this program is clear. It is meant to help people. It brings a benefit to people who really need the money that it can bring back and help to stabilize families who really need it. It's free, it's trusted, it's accurate. It makes something that could be very difficult and very stressful easy for people who really need it. And for volunteers, it's about connecting people's passions and abilities directly to those who really need it most. For our region, it's simple. Stronger families make for a stronger community. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce the mayor of the great city of Indianapolis, the Honorable Joe Hogsett.
Well, good morning. Let me begin by just making a couple of observations. First, Jackie, I would thank you for your hospitality today at this wonderful library branch. But I simply wanted to point out that I have heard the date April 15th described in many ways over the years. Your characterization of it as a magic day is something I've never heard. But God bless your optimism. It is a magic day for those who are served by this program, and that's important. I also want to take a moment and acknowledge and recognize an outstanding elected leader here in our community who represents this district, Keith Graves, the City County Councilor, who's joined us today. Keith, thank you for being here and lending your support to this worthy effort. Obviously, my thanks to previous speakers, Jackie and Ann. Each year, this important program, as has been identified, helps so many individuals, and I am thankful for the work that Jackie and Ann, and collectively, all of you are doing to keep this program going. The Indy Free Tax Prep Program, in partnership with the IRS, is designed to ensure that residents with a household income under $66,000 receive all the tax credits, all of the deductions for which they qualify. Volunteers are certified by the IRS to provide free basic tax return preparation to all of those individuals who are qualified to be a part of the program. Last year alone, over 250 Indy Free Tax Prep volunteers, 250 volunteers, provided service for and prepared more than 6,600 tax returns for Indianapolis residents at no cost. Now, that would result in more than $6 million in refunds and $1.3 million saved in tax preparation services. You know, where I come from, we call that a win-win-win. The Indy Free Tax Prep Program supports United Way of Central Indiana's goal of reducing the number of financially vulnerable households in our community. With the money residents save on tax preparation fees, they can work to reduce debt. They can use that money to help build savings. And I want to encourage residents, all residents, to take advantage of this free service by visiting indyfreetaxprep.com for more information. That's indyfreetaxprep.com. And finally, my sincere thanks to all of the program's volunteers and all of its community partners. Your time, your support is making a huge difference in the lives of so many families in our community. And on behalf of a grateful city, I thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hogsett. My name is Kate McKnight. I'm with the Internal Revenue Service right here in Indianapolis, and it is my great pleasure right now to introduce a friend of mine and a friend of our city's, Sean Wolbert, who is the CEO of Financial Health Federal Credit Union, one of our partners in our project. Sean?
Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you. Financial Health Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of the Indy Free Tax Prep Program. Every year, our employees give back to our community by serving as volunteer tax preparers and site coordinators. And I'm glad to say that I am one of those volunteers as well. So I'm right there preparing taxes with everyone else. This program is a great example of the partnership between local public and private organizations to increase the financial stability of individuals and families in central Indiana. Partners include the City of Indianapolis, Financial Health Federal Credit Union, the United Way of Central Indiana, the Indianapolis Public Library, IndyGo, and the Eastern Star Church, and many more local financial and community organizations. All our community partners are committed to ensuring that tax filers can access benefits such as the Earned Income Tax Credit so that they can receive the largest tax refund possible. This credit and others allow thousands of working Hoosier families to keep more of their hard-earned money. The East 38th Street Library sits in a financial desert. Financial Health Federal Credit Union is the only financial institution in this neighborhood with a brick and mortar presence in the 46218 zip code. With the assistance of the Eastern Star Church, we are bringing community access to financial services and free tax preparation so that our neighbors can get 100% of the refunds to reduce debt and build their savings. All of these activities contribute to a household's overall financial stability. And I know that we talk about that over and over, but I think sometimes a true story about how that really impacts a person helps everyone to understand how that works. When we first opened our branch a year and a half ago here in the 46218 zip code, we had a bus driver from Indianapolis come into the branch. And she talked to us about the impact we were having in the lives of people in this neighborhood. They would get on the bus and they would ride 3 hours a day to get financial services or to get tax preparation help. 3 hours out of a day is something that for us who have cars and it's easy to get where we need to go and it's a 12-minute ride. We never think about the impact that not having financial services or not having tax preparation assistance in a neighborhood, how that can hurt the families that reside there. So we are really glad that we can participate and offer these services right here. Our free tax preparation program has a life-changing impact for the families that we serve. Thank you.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce you to someone who I get to work with every day, and her name is Becky Johnson. And Becky is the, I guess you'd say she preaches the gospel of earned income tax credit and free tax preparation, as well as championing the financial education and asset building part of the Internal Revenue Service Stakeholder Partnerships Education and Communication Program. Try saying that 5 times fast. And she covers an area from Maine through North Dakota. So we're really lucky to have Becky here with us today. So I'd like to introduce you to Becky Johnson.
Good morning, and thank you all so much. I really do appreciate having the opportunity to be here, to meet and talk with so many wonderful people. The library is fabulous, just fabulous. The work United Way does, meeting you, that's marvelous. And then the volunteers. This is just such a tremendous experience for me. So thank you first and foremost. You heard us talk about the Earned Income Tax Credit. And that is one of our strongest tools in order to help working families, right, achieve self-sufficiency. Okay. It helps them to escape poverty. It's just a tremendous tool. It is a refundable credit, right? So that even if somebody does not owe tax, they may be able to receive that credit, right? And so when I talk about the Earned Income Tax Credit, it means workers get money back. And let me put a context around that. In 2019, 25 million taxpayers received about 81, hold on, my eyes are getting bad, I want to give the number right, 61, sorry. 25 million taxpayers received about $61 billion in EITC across the country. Okay? In Indiana, in 2019, that was 510,000 working Hoosiers. Okay? They claimed $1.2 billion EITC, with the average refund being in the range of $2,500. Okay? So I don't know about you, but I know $2,500 can go a long way. Yeah. Okay? And think about a working family. Okay? That's a huge impact. And then if you think about that impact to the community, right? Because that money goes back to the businesses in the community. It's just such a wonderful tool, and I'm just very fortunate to be able to be part of an organization that can help promote that. Okay. What we know, though, is only 1 in 5 of those eligible for EITC actually claim the credit. Okay? So please help share the word, right? And as you're volunteering and you're working with people, or you're talking to your neighbors or your business partners, or please share the word, because we want to have to reach the people, the working families. So the only way you can get this credit is to file a tax return. And that's where you all come in, right? Our partners helping us to get those tax returns filed. Local IRS certified volunteers can help you file your tax return for free. Great word, I love free. For free if your 2019 income is $66,000 or less. Okay. Again, I started off by saying thank you to all of our partners and the volunteers, but I have to say it again. We could not do what we do without you. And so thank you very much. And now I'm going to reintroduce Kate McKnight. I am blessed to be able to work with Kate. She is just a star. She is one of our senior tax consultants in the Stakeholder Partnership Education and Communication arena. And she's based right here in Indianapolis. And I am just so fortunate to have such a person on my team. So, Kate?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Becky, and thanks to everybody for being here today. I want to give 2 additional shout outs. We've already heard about our wonderful friends from Huntington Bank who are here today to volunteer to prepare taxes a little later this morning. They've been providing corporate volunteers for us, between 25 to 30 corporate volunteers for us for 10 years or more. We're so grateful to them. And thank you, Huntington Bank. And I also would like to let people know that, believe it or not, not everybody has warm, fuzzy relationships with the Internal Revenue Service. I know, hard to believe. But anyway, people do need help sometimes working through the bureaucracy or getting a resolution to an issue. And so we are very lucky today. We have some people from our Taxpayer Advocate Service who are here to be able to answer questions or to help people in the community get their issue resolved or to take some cases in if necessary. So we're very pleased to have them there, be around all day, and we do provide access to these services through our sites throughout the state. So thank you, Taxpayer Advocate. I do want to make sure, I think several people have talked about our Magic Day of April 15th. So I want to put that Magic Day, I think we're going to have new logos made somehow for Magic April 15th. Get a lot of interesting looks these days. But anyway, the tax deadline this year is April 15th. And just to let people know, if people do claim the earned income tax credit or the additional child tax credit, that we at the IRS are not allowed to release those refunds until mid-February. So we encourage people to get in to file those returns as quickly as possible, but know that we cannot release them until the middle of February. Hopefully, especially if you request direct deposit, you should be able to see those refunds in your bank accounts by the 1st of March-ish. But anyway, we wanted to let people know that. So again, I do want to let people know about that. And I'm going to do one last commercial for IndyFreeTaxPrep.com. If you have any doubt, it's IndyFreeTaxPrep.com. I'll just say it again. And thank you all for being here today. Thank you.
As you heard in the press conference, 46218 is in a financial desert, so there are not a lot of opportunities to get your taxes done, get your banking done, and things of that nature. People can take advantage of this free service by the tax site IndyFreeTax.com, or since we are an official site, they can call the branch directly and we can get you signed up at 317-275-4350. So we are really excited to be able to have this service for the folks in our community, as well as folks outside of the 46218 zip code. All are welcome to come here and take advantage of our services.